for classic matches just like the World Cup videos, why not go to patreon.com/drunkredhead. Another week is over, another week begins with what happened on my universe mode. Get the fireworks out, it's time for a bit more Raw. Raw finished off its 1 month in Ohio with a trip to Columbus. And we opened up with a match, starting with Paige. The anti-diva was taking on her long-time feud buddy Trish Stratus in what promised to be a pretty good match. Of course, they shook hands at the start of the match, so there is some mutual respect going on there. Paige got things going with a slam and an elbow drop, but quickly Trish reversed, hitting a DDT and a neckbreaker to lay out Paige. She then followed that up with an elbow drop. Trish wasn't in charge for long, and Paige reversed with an arm drag, and then quickly hit a Paige turner, following that up with a suplex and a headbutt from the top rope. Trish dodged a super kick and quickly nailed Paige with a Russian leg sweep. She then went for the chick kick, hit it, and went for the pin. Kick out at 2. Trish worked on Paige's legs for a little bit before sending her into the corner and putting her on the top rope, but that's where it all fell apart for her. Paige kicked her away and then hit her with a super Hurricane Rana. After that, Paige put her down with a Northern Lights suplex and then set up the Rampage, which she hit, went for the pin. Kick out at 2. Paige was not to be shown up. She hit a super kick and then another Rampage, and she went for the pin once again, and this time there was no kick out at 2. Paige won. She looked quite happy about it. Backstage, Alundra Blayze was in the arena for the first time in a while, and she got into a little argument with Eva Marie, and Eva Marie suddenly just suplexed her and hit her with some shelves. Eva Marie chucked Alundra Blayze into the locker room, but Alundra Blayze then reversed the next chop and hit her with a Hurricane Rana into a bin. Blayze blasted Eva Marie with a big chair shot and then another chair shot before taking her around the locker room and beating her down. Blayze ended up smashing her in the head with a suitcase and then hitting her with a German suplex through a table that just happened to be there. And she wasn't even done. She hit a couple more moves and another German suplex, which did finish her off. It was almost as if we're trying to get rid of her because she's not on the next game. Anyway, Brock was out for a promo. Brock Lesnar was adamant that he had something to say and he will be heard, but then he got interrupted by Randy Orton. Who else? Straight away, Orton said that if he said another word, he'll make him regret ever grabbing a microphone. Well, that probably pissed off Brock, and he said that he wasn't even worthy of being in his presence. Brock said that Orton should have learned what happened to people who get on his bad side. Orton just suggested having a match, but Brock had other ideas and kicked Randy Orton in the balls. The pair scuffled for a bit, traded reversals, and then eventually led to Brock Lesnar hitting a nice dirty German suplex. But apparently that was enough for the game, and the game said no, the promo's ending, and did the ending cutscene with the clothesline and holding back and all that. It was time for another match, and Emma was all alone as her tag team partner Eva Marie got destroyed by her opponent for tonight, Alundra Blayze, backstage. Emma got the first hits in with a DDT when Alundra Blayze was for some reason on her knees, then ramming her head into the floor a few times and hitting a gutbuster. Just like with Eva Marie, Alundra Blayze eventually got a reversal, this time with an arm drag. She hit a suplex, a Russian leg sweep, and then an impressive standing moonsault. Blayze continued the beatdown with a splash off the second rope and a sleeper slam, before hitting a missile dropkick off the top rope and eventually letting her have it with the German suplex, and that was it. Alundra Blayze wins, and I think the evolution might be finished now. Next match, it's Kevin Owens. Owens was to be taking on the Bulgarian brute Rusev, but they weren't going to be the only people out there. Oh no, just as they were getting ready to face off, out came Bray Wyatt, who, if you remember, is currently feuding with Kevin Owens. Wyatt didn't get in anyone's faces here. He just walked around the ring and calmly took a seat at ringside so he could get a nice close view of what was going on inside the ring. In the ring, Rusev started things off with a dirty looking clothesline, taking Kevin Owens down and beating his back, but eventually Kevin Owens would reverse. Owens smashed Rusev in the corner with a big clothesline for getting on the top rope and nailing an awesome frog splash. Eventually Rusev got the advantage back again, hitting a weird looking suplex, and just as Kevin Owens was getting the advantage back again, Bray Wyatt got involved and grabbed his leg. This distracted him enough for Rusev to take him out, hit him with a back suplex, hit him with a kick to the face and lock in the accolade, which he eventually would tap out to. Rusev was the winner, but only because of Bray Wyatt. Now it's time for the Raw main event. It's already that time. We start off with Braun Strowman, who still looks like he used to before he dropped Bray Wyatt and became the best thing in wrestling, and he was taking on Dean Ambrose in a street fight. Ambrose's early attempts at offense were thwarted by Braun Strowman, who hit a couple of reversals and then a big spinebuster before clotheslining Dean Ambrose out the ring. Braun Strowman threw Dean Ambrose about on the outside, but eventually Dean Ambrose caught one of his punches and kicked him away. He then threw Braun Strowman about himself, and by that I mean actually throwing him into things and throwing him up the ramp, and eventually when they got to the ramp, Dean Ambrose started smashing his head into it. Ambrose hit a bulldog, but then unfortunately for him, Braun Strowman reversed his next move. Strowman then hit him with a dirty chokeslam on the ramp, and then his weird cutter thing on the ramp, and then locked in his chokehold that he doesn't use anymore in real life, but will use it today, and Dean Ambrose did tap, and Braun Strowman was victorious. And we're done for another edition of What Happened on My Universe Mode. It's the first episode of Nitro next. Like and subscribe.